So our first look at the live action of Tangled has come out, and like every other remake Disney has made, of course it has stirred up a lot of discourse. But what do you expect when you start making changes to something that people love? And it's not like Disney has a good track record when it comes to adapting these movies into live action. And if we put aside any thoughts on the casting choices, it's not like Disney is giving us much confidence in being able to recreate the magic of the animation. Now, I know it's still in production and what we're seeing isn't the finished product, but from our first looks at the set design and even Rapunzel's costuming, I don't see it being able to live up to any expectation. I don't understand why they chose to change the colors that are so associated to the character and the world. And yeah, maybe in post-production they'll change the color, but this is Disney, for crying out loud. I don't think they're gonna do any of that. And especially not with their costuming, that doesn't change. And I watched this TikTok creator, which I'll let play in a moment, who very clearly kind of shows what's wrong with her design.
And then look at her dress. Her dress had a sweet heart neckline with light lace, cute small sleeves, light colors, pinks and purples, and white. And now it is dark, depressing purples with straight cut. No, it doesn't accentuate her at all.
Now I know on the surface this doesn't seem like a big deal, but I'm going to tell you why it is. Because costuming reflects the story. It reflects the character and who they are. It harmonizes the whole story by keeping things consistent. Rapunzel is a compassionate and somewhat innocent character. She's adventurous and optimistic and creative in so many ways, which is all reflected in her appearance. To the soft tonal purples and pinks and the sweetheart neckline that literally resembles the top of a heart, it shows these characteristics, which the live action version just doesn't do. And it's details like this and this.
This Rapunzel doesn't even have green eyes. You telling me Disney couldn't afford green contacts to match?
That tell me that Disney just doesn't care. Like in the animation, the first hints to her that she could be the lost princess is this mosaic that of course it shows her hair, but also her bright green eyes. And look what they did to the mosaic. It looks atrocious. Where is the artistry? Where is the creativity? What a huge downgrade from the original. It honestly looks so bad that I feel like it has to be fake. Surely someone AI generated this and everyone just believes it's the real thing, right? Because otherwise this is crazy. It's just so disappointing. And I love Tangled. It's my favorite Disney princess movie. And look, I love that they're actually shooting outside and not just against a green screen. But I just don't think that's enough to save this movie. Especially if they're gonna keep this dulled down yellow and blue as the color theme for the kingdom. Because again, everything in the animation is connected to the story. She wears purple, her hair is blonde, all these colors are reflected in the kingdom. But now let's look at the most prominent issue people have with the movie, which is unsurprisingly its casting, with many pointing out how the actor for Rapunzel does not look like Rapunzel. And I'm going to try and break down why people are so opposed to the choice and comparing it to Regina from Mean Girls, because I think a lot of it has to do with just the way Tegan Croft's facial structure is, and there's nothing wrong with it, it just doesn't reflect Rapunzel as a character. And here's why. When I divide their faces into these different segments, the biggest parts are different. On the animated version, you can see that the widest gap is between her eyes and her nose, while for the actor, it's between her forehead and her eyebrows, which I think just throws people off kind of proportion-wise. Rapunzel also has a much more circular face than the actor, and I think this matters because what does a circular face remind you of? A baby. And what do babies give off? A sense of innocence and childness, So it again all comes back to what these features convey. And a circular face just aligns more with Rapunzel's traits and characteristics. And look, maybe she doesn't fit Rapunzel, but being compared to Regina George is kind of a compliment, I feel. So I hope the actor doesn't take any of these negative comments to heart and continues acting, you know? At the end of the day, I don't know if there was anyone who could live up to the expectations people had for Rapunzel. And honestly, I was a bit surprised that people were happy kind of with the choice for Flynn Rider because he is like the perfect man, and I don't think anyone could really fill that slot. And I have no idea why they gave him a mustache. I don't think it fits or looks good at all. The only casting choice I think that was pretty spot on was for Mother Gotham, but I feel like we didn't see enough of her for the teaser to know what Disney has done with her character and if it will work. And I wonder what they're going to do with Maximus and Pascal. Like, are they even going to attempt to give them the attitude and sassiness they had in the original? Like, I'm assuming Pascal will be just CGI, but they're using a real horse, so I don't know how they'll do it. Anyway, those are my thoughts, feelings, and emotions towards this movie so far. What's yours? Are you excited for it, or do you just think it's another cash grab from Disney?